Hello everybody and welcome to That's Football. It's another transfer news show for you and two shock transfer moves for Liverpool and Arsenal we're going to be talking about. Also a little bit about Manchester United and Arsenal and Ruben Neves, which I was talking about on the United stand earlier. But let's start off with Liverpool. A shock transfer move for Jarrod Bowen of West Ham United. Now I've been looking around on socials about this, and tentative or not, I feel that Liverpool are looking to bring in an attacking option if they can offload Shaqiri or maybe Origi. Now, ideally, I think Liverpool fans would like to be shopping for an Mbappe or maybe a Kingsley Coman or someone like that. But I said this on Twitter this morning, and I didn't mean to offend people. I mean, I think Liverpool and Arsenal fans would agree, the frustrated ones, that it feels like to me that Aston Villa and Everton are more powerful in the transfer market at the moment than Liverpool and Arsenal are. And I don't know why that is. I don't support Liverpool and Arsenal. I would imagine that you've got the funds, but I don't know why. I mean, Villa and Everton are ambitious and they're rich, but they seem to be more active and better in the transfer market at the moment. And I don't know why that is. But what I would say is that I think some people would look at Liverpool going for Jarrod Bowen and they'd go, ha, what a crap signing that is. Yeah, well, we all laughed about Mane from Southampton, Lallana from Southampton, and all right, Lallana, did he work out that well or not? Salah from Roma. Liverpool are very, very good in their transfer strategy of buying players. They'll look at injuries, they'll look at potential. And Jarrod Bowen at 24, I actually remember when United played them at their ground, whatever it's called now, BTEC Wembley or whatever, Olympic Stadium. He's a real threat. He's a real threat off that right-hand side. And he's developed since he's come from Hull. I think they used to call him like the Poundland Robin because he'd always be cutting in onto his left foot and getting a shot off. But I think he's a good player, and I think that under Klopp, I mean, we should never be arrogant about these sort of signings. These players that come in from West Ham had a very good season last year as well. They nearly got into the Champions League. Bowen was a part of that story. So, Declan Rice, £100 million, 22. Oh, everyone wants him. Jarrod Bowen, 24. Oh, what a crap signing that is. And I think there's a bit of an arrogance there. Maybe Jurgen Klopp, if Liverpool do this deal, are looking at him and going, there's a player there that I can turn into a superstar. And I'll tell you what, as a manager and as a coach, you'd much rather get Bowen from West Ham and turn him into a top class player than get an Mbappe. Well, no, you'd rather get Mbappe. I'm talking out my arse there. But what I'm saying is, there's a lot of credibility in a coach that can highlight a player that's not at the level and bring him in. Like Bruno from Sporting Lisbon to United. It was obvious that was going to work, but he was playing for Sporting Lisbon. So I don't know. I mean, look, it'd be cheaper but then again, West Ham. It's West Ham, isn't it? West Ham want 100 million for Declan Rice. They probably want 50 million for Bowen. So that's not necessarily going to be an easy deal for Liverpool to look at, especially when we were talking the other day about Saul Niguez and some of the other players that Liverpool are looking at. But maybe the financial might of Liverpool is not there. But I think Bowen would be quite interesting. The only trouble is, I think Liverpool fans are thinking this as well, is that if you get Bowen, is he not a little bit like what you did a few years ago with Shaqiri, where you brought him in from Stoke and he was a good player and never got near the first team because you've got Salah and you've got Mane? And that's the problem, isn't it? When you've got Salah and Mane, it doesn't matter who you buy, they're going to struggle to get into the team. But I think Bowen's a decent player. I've always said he's a decent player at West Ham, and if Klopp thinks he's a player that he can do something with, then I'd be interested to see if they can do that. They'd probably have to pay good money for him though. So we'll see. A bit of a shock, but we'll see. Arsenal looking to bring Ramsdale, the goalkeeper of Sheffield United, to the club for £30 million. Now I've seen a bit of a meltdown on social media from Arsenal fans because of this. I suppose it's having a goalkeeper, isn't it? But spending £30 million on a reserve goalkeeper is funny in a way, because United have brought Tom Heaton in, and he is meant to be the reserve goalkeeper behind Henderson if United can move De Gea on. So why would Arsenal want to spend £30 million on a young goalkeeper? I mean, I think Ramsdale, correct me if I'm wrong, I think he's 22 or 23. So he's a good up-and-coming goalkeeper. Obviously, he moved from Bournemouth to Sheffield United a year ago for £18.5 million. Sheffield United got relegated. He had quite a good season. He wasn't terrible. He was quite good. So you can see why Sheffield United would want around 30 million, because they want to get their money back with a bit of profit. But 30 million pounds for a goalkeeper who's going to be a reserve goalkeeper for Arsenal is a lot of money. Or is he going to be the reserve goalkeeper? Is there something more sinister to this? Would he come in and be the first choice goalkeeper and push Leno out? It's an interesting one because I think if he's coming in as the backup goalkeeper, who spends £30 million on a backup goalkeeper? It's a lot of money. And Arsenal need to spend a lot of money on their team. So I suppose Arsenal fans would quite rightly be saying that 30 million could be spent on a first team player. A lot of money to spend on a reserve goalkeeper. I don't even know Man City would spend £30 million on a reserve goalkeeper. So maybe he's going to be a first team goalkeeper. I don't know. But interesting. I don't think that'll happen, but it's been spoken about. What has also been spoken about as well, and I spoke about it in more depth on the United stand from a United point of view, is Ruben Neves leaving Wolves and United and Arsenal being in a race for him. 35 million quid. There are some good deals to be done this summer. I think there are some bad deals to be done. And those bad deals for me are probably Harry Kane for 150 million. Fantastic player, but overpriced. In this market, I think he's overpriced. I think before COVID, he'd be worth it. But for 28-year-old Harry Kane, who gets injured a couple of times every year, I think 150 million is going to be too much. And when I say overpriced, I mean I don't think anyone can afford it. So, that would be a lot of money. Declan Rice, £100 million. He's not, good player. I'd love him at United, but he's overpriced at that. Ruben Neves at 35 million. I think he's a Premier League proven player who's still pretty young. I think he's still is he early, mid-20s? And yeah, I think he'd be a good player for Arsenal or Manchester United, and especially for 35 million quid. So, I don't know whether there's anything in that. I really don't. From a United point of view, I'd question Ruben Neves can play as a holding midfielder, but whether he would be, whether we'd keep Van der Beek, McFred, Matic, Pogba, I don't know. It's difficult. But for Arsenal, I could see him in an Arsenal shirt. I could see Ruben Neves in an Arsenal shirt, and for 35 million quid, especially if they move Xhaka on and maybe go Partey and Neves, it'd be a good signing. So I get the feeling Wolves are looking to move Ruben Neves on. I mean, one thing about Wolves is they've got this conveyor belt of Portuguese talent that they know they can bring in for a reasonable price, and part of their game plan is to then sell them. So they did it a year ago with Jota. Maybe it's the summer of Ruben Neves to go. I think Raul Jimenez would have been going, but obviously the horrific injury he suffered means that he won't be moving this summer. So maybe this is the summer where Ruben Neves moves on. Maybe Adama Traore as well. Anyway, get your comments in below. What are your thoughts on Liverpool, Jarrod Bowen, Ramsdale, Arsenal, and Ruben Neves? Links in the video. Sorry, please subscribe, bottom right hand corner. Smash a like on the video. Get your comments in, and I'll speak to you on the next one. Thanks everyone for watching.